Hey everyone, how are you doing today? Hope you're doing well. So do me a favor before we get started. I need you to hit this like button. If you're not a subscriber, I need you to hit the subscribe button and notification bell next to it so that you will not miss an episode. Also check me out on IG, elevation_mentor. So today we're going to talk about, should I buy a house or should I rent? So first and foremost, I do want to say that renting is not a bad thing. So it just depends on where you are in life, on what decision you make. So first and foremost, do you plan to stay in the house for 5 to 7 years? Do you plan to stay in the house for 5 to 7 years? So buying a house is a long-term goal. So staying in it for 5 to 7 years is important because that is how you are building your equity and appreciation. So if you're in a place where you're going to be there short term and you're going to be leaving, then at that point, it would not be a good idea to buy a house because it's going to take time to sell the house. Um, Also, you will not be having the time to build the equity and appreciation. So, this is a long term thing. So, do you plan on staying where you are for 5 to 7 years? So, this is a long term thing, like I'm saying, with the real estate. So, for example, people are in different situations in their life, different circumstances. So, are you out in the middle of nowhere, for example, on a job assignment? And do you have a gut feeling that you need to get out of there? That's something that you can answer for yourself. If so, that's not a 5 to 7 year commitment. Or, say, for example, you're in school. You relocated to a different place because you are in school. So, do you plan to be there for 5 to 7 years? So, in that situation, it may not be a bad idea to go ahead and buy. Um, if you are young, for example, and you don't mind living with roommates, so having like four other people living with you, and all those four people are paying rent. And when you decide to move out and leave, you can still have people paying rent. So, that's just one thing to think about. How long do you plan on staying there? Is it long term or short term? Second thing I would think about is, are you financially stable? Are you financially stable? So, do you have a stable job or a business that brings in income? Are you financially stable? So, you'll buy a house at a point where you feel stable. Now, budgeting is a good idea, right? Anyone out there budget? All right, so back to being financially stable, having a stable job or a stable business that brings in income, and where you're in a pattern of saving. So, are you at a place of financial stability? If the answer is yes, then this is a good time to buy a house. All right. The third thing to consider is savings. So it's important to have at least 3 to 6 months of savings before you buy a house, because things are going to be going wrong with the house. For example, the air conditioner is out. Um, Maybe the refrigerator stopped working. Or maybe you need to leave your job for a few months to take care of someone. So having at least 3 to 6 months of savings is important. So you're in a different place in life. All right. So those are some things to consider. Should you buy a house now or should you rent? So as far as buying a house, this would be buying and holding, because on this channel, we're talking about finances, but in this channel particularly, we're talking about building wealth. So you build wealth by holding it, and I mean holding it forever. So say for example, you bought a house, it's 100,000, and now it's 150. Now the value is 200,000. Now the value is 300,000. And then you say, okay, well, I'm going to sell the house. Okay, you sold the house, but you just missed out on a whole lot of appreciation if you were in a situation where you bought the house and you held it forever and you watched it go up to 500,000. Now it's 700,000. Now it's 800,000. So when you buy, you hold it and you hold it forever. All right? So this is not fix and flip. This is not buy and sell. All right? So those are just some things to think about. Should I buy a house or should I rent? So just to recap, are you in a location where you want to stay there for 5 to 7 years? Or are you still, maybe you are in a different place in life where you would like to move from city to city and see how different cities are, which is fine, you know? So, do you want to be here for 5 to 7 years? Are you financially stable? And if you're not stable right now, you will be. All right. And then lastly, saving. So you have 3 to 6 months of savings. Should you buy a house or should you rent? All right. When it comes to the current interest rates, if you're thinking about interest rates and the prices of the home currently, if you're thinking about that, it's better to go ahead and buy as opposed to waiting for them to drop the interest rates. Because the longer you wait, the higher the price of that home is going to be. So, say you buy a home now and you say, these interest rates are way too high. I'm going to wait till they drop the interest rates. Say you buy a home for, okay, there's a home for 100,000 you see on the market. Say you wait for 2 years. Do you think that that house is still going to be 100,000? No, it's not. It's going to be more expensive. So as opposed to just waiting on the sidelines, just jump in if it's a good time for you. Everyone has their own things going on. Everyone is in different circumstances, different situations. So one more time, are you in a place where you want to be there for 5 to 7 years? And the answer could be yes, the answer could be no. Are you financially stable? If you're not, eventually you will be. Lastly, do you have 3 to 6 months of savings? All right. So do me a favor before you leave. I need you to hit this like button. If you are not a subscriber, I need you to hit the subscribe button and notification bell next to it so that you will not miss an episode. Also, check out my hat collection below. Feel free to leave your comments, your opinions, and on your way out, hit that like button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.